and welcome to the Hawaiʻi Neighborhood Board meeting. My name is Roberta Mayer, and I am the chair of the Neighborhood Board, and I represent Subdistrict 10 in the neighborhood. I'm going to ask the board members to introduce themselves, starting at my far right.
And good evening. Thank you for coming. My name is Herb Schreiner. I'm Subdistrict 6, which is Kamiluiki Valley.
Robbie Avalon, Subdistrict 2, Quap Isle, Spinnaker.
Paula Bender, Sub-District 9, and that is, how do you describe that? Cocoa Head Terrace? Yeah.
I'm Greg Knudsen, at large.
This is Anson Wu. He is our neighborhood assistant, and he assists us with parliamentary procedure and also taking minutes.
Aloha, everyone. Samuel Wolf, Subdistrict 4, the Hawaiʻi Valley Condo Towers.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Bishop, at large.
And we have one of our members online. Tiffany, could you say hello?
Hi, good evening. Tiffany Donnelly, at large.
All right, thank you. And thank you for joining us this evening. We generally start with all of our service providers, and I don't see anybody from the Honolulu Fire Department here tonight. So we'll be moving on to the Honolulu Police Department. And I see that we have Lieutenant Sergeant Hung online.
Hi, aloha. Sorry, Lieutenant Nakamura with the police department. I'm having computer as usual.
Sorry, Lieutenant.
No,
The
no
name
problem.
on it says Sergeant.
Yeah, my computer is a piece of junk. It's not working, so I'm borrowing his. These are stats for June as compared to the previous month. Motor vehicle thefts were 0 as compared to 2. Burglary was 1 as compared to 0. Thefts in general were 8 as compared to 9. And UEMVs, which is theft from autos, that was 2 as compared to 1. This is our total calls of service of 5,315. Further statistical information can be found at honolulupd.org. And our tip for the month is just a friendly reminder where we, knock on wood, we seem to have caught a lucky break, but I last checked the NOAA website at, I think it was the 5 o'clock radar thing, and it looked like Tropical Storm Fausto was a couple 200-300 miles northeast of Kahului. So we might have missed another one, but it's just a friendly reminder. This is supposed to be a bad year. We're supposed to have more than 10. So just remember that we are in hurricane season, and reminder.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Are there any questions for the Honolulu Police Department? Sam?
Aloha, Lieutenant. I submitted a request back in May to the 311 service with the city, but I'm walking with my 4-year-old son along Vavamalu.
I'm sorry,
the
Chair.
tide
I'm not
pools there.
hearing any audio from you.
1 second.
Testing.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Okay.
Roberta. I cannot see you, but I can hear you.
Can you hear
Hello?
Member Wolf?
Testing, testing. 1,
Yeah,
2, 3.
I can hear Sam. Go ahead,
Okay,
sir.
awesome. So I was walking along Vavamalu Beach, along the tide pools, closer to Allen Davis, and there was multiple piles of human excrement and toilet paper. Must have been 8 to 10 different piles of it along the beach, along the walkways. I submitted a request to the 311 service. But I'm curious for HPD, how often are you visiting that area to see about the homeless population that's there, because there are handy vans that are clearly being lived out of that aren't moving. And so if we're trying to protect our beach parks, it would be a great way to not have continuous defecation in that area.
Yes, Vavamalu Beach is what you're concerned about. That falls under the jurisdiction of DLNR. So you can let them know about that. We don't really, yeah. That's the best.
So those,
response
the
that I can
vans
give.
that are parked there, you're not responsible for seeing if they're long-term residents.
It depends where the vans are parked. That's the difficulty. of it.
Where does your jurisdiction end as it relates to that area?
The park. Yeah, at Sandy Beach Park.
So the area closer to where you park and start walking into the Coloco Inlet is where there are these what used to be handy vans and buses that people are living out of, and those tide pools that are along there. That's not under the jurisdiction of HPD. That's only DLNR.
Yeah, Sergeant Hung is right next to me, and he believes that that's DLNR jurisdiction.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
You have to use,
Road that goes out
Reese,
onto-
can you use the microphone, please, at the podium?
That's referred to as the Vavamalu Beach section of Sandy Beach Park. It is city parkland. All the land and beach from the traffic land, from the traffic light toward
Waimanalo. Yeah.
it's all city parkland.
It would extend to the Allen Davis wall
Yeah,
beyond that parking lot too.
the state land starts at the Allen Davis wall.
Sir, can you identify yourself, please, before you leave the podium?
I'm Reese Liggett.
Okay, so Lieutenant Mura, I guess what Sam and Reese are trying to say is that the area that Sam was concerned about is still part of the city's land. It is the extension of Sandy Beach.
Okay, if that's the case, I'll have Sergeant Hung research that, and then you can, as far as cleanup is concerned, that's, if it's city property, then that would be, all under the jurisdiction of the parks, yeah. As far as the AVs are concerned, we can address those, or cars parked late at night in violation of park rules, we can address that.
Well, my question is, how often is that being patrolled at by you guys and doing regular checks? Because those vehicles, large vehicles, aren't moving, and it's clear that people are living out of there. Is it required by the public to call every single time, or are you guys being proactive to check to see if they're long-term residents?
I mentioned that there were a couple office-initiated complaints, and then we addressed those. So we address them as complaints come in. If there's still cars parked there, you can call 911. The best way would be to call 911 when the cars are parked there, because a lot of the times when office-initiated complaints come in, they may be routed through this person's office or that person's office, and it'll be several days, if not a week, before it comes into us. So if you can call 911 and make the complaint that way, we can address it then.
Sam, I could also send an email to DPR and let them know that this complaint came up. Okay. Any other questions for the Honolulu Police Department? All right, Board of Water Supply. Good evening, Iris.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant. We appreciate
take
your
care.
being here.
All right. So good evening, everyone. So I'm Iris Oda from the Board of Water Supply. Let's see. My general announcement, I had almost enough flyers for everyone, but I gave a flyer there on August 1st, this coming Saturday. There's the 2026 annual Unthirsty Plant Sale. So come to this. You're all invited. It's in the Halava Xeriscape Garden. It's at 99-1268 Eva Anna Street. So it's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So it's a 3-acre lush oasis nestled in the Halava Valley's Central Park industrial area. So there'll be live display of drought-tolerant and native plant varieties. Payment, if there's going to be plants, low water requirement plants on sale, but it's credit card only. So admission is free. And even though there's not a lot of parking in there, there's going to be parking anywhere along the Eva Anna Street. And we're going to have shuttles going up to the top of the hill, and you can just walk into the park. So yeah, just look for the signs that say shuttle pickup. So it's a family-friendly event. And like I was saying, they offer xeric plants by local vendors. Then there'll be a team of plant doctors from the UH Master Gardener Program with plant care and advice and information. So there's some information booths about rain barrel catchment, and there's going to be some free soil conditioner, a little bag. So maybe you can get 1 or 2 each, depending on what time you go. And so more information, go to our boardofwatersupply.com/plant sale. So just the one announcement. And if there's any questions, and that's all.
No main breaks in the last month.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Oops. Oh, I'm so sorry. I brought the May report for the main breaks.
Well, you know what? I thought it was a wonderful report that there were no main breaks, but
Yeah.
you're saying you just didn't bring the report?
I'm hoping, yeah, I thought I brought my July, but I brought the main breaks are for the June report. I'm so sorry. So, but we'll crossing fingers if there was none, but I'll have to report it next month or email it to you.
Why don't you email it, and then you
Okay.
can also report it next month.
Okay.
But if you email it, then I'll share it with the board members.
Okay.
Okay.
Figure must not have had no one saying
I
anything.
just have a question though.
A question.
Go ahead, Paula.
Okay. Iris, I'm sure that you know that about the breaks that were happening along Coolio toward Niu Valley last week.
Okay.
And I noticed the evening before that HPD was looking at some spots in the road. And that the next day when I was out riding my bike, there were so many cars, and it was very, I could just tell people were really kind of upset about it. And I have my question for you to take back if you like, but it just seems like it happens there kind of often, and maybe it's time to put a cast on instead of a Band-Aid.
So that's Coolio last week. Do you know a cross street that
Uh,
you look it up?
Well, right past, I believe, Mumuuku.
Okay, well, I'll try and ask anyway. If I'll try to see what it is. We don't get the main break updates until the next month, but I'll send that. There's somewhere on Coolio and Moho. Do you know Moho'ulu?
I believe it's,
Was there like a building?
no one's helping me out here. Pardon me?
I'll come over and ask you for the spelling after this. Okay. But yeah, I'll ask it. But yeah, so as part of our main break repairs, we do have to address them when they do occur, but we do keep track. That's why we do these reports and announce it to you guys. When we do notice there's more and more and more, we do try to package repairs of the whole line at one time. So there could, depending on where this is, there could be a project in the works too. Or if not, then at least this brings it to their attention again, and maybe it'll start working its way through the planning, permitting, and then construction. But then design and then construction. But thank you. Okay.
Sam has a question.
Thank you for always being here, Iris. Appreciate it. And that the plant sale is exciting, that we should all be conserving water. But my concern is that there was an article that came out in the Civil Beat on July 14th about the Navy dumping approximately 4.5 to 5 billion gallons of filtered water from their Red Hill crisis, rather than diverting it and using it for irrigation, et cetera. So while we're being told to conserve water and turn off the tap as we're brushing our teeth and plant, non-thirsty plants, we have the Navy just dumping 5,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of water in that the time frame. So is Board of Water Supply able to find them, or what are we able to do to lessen the impact on the public and try to rein them in for their reckless and carelessness?
I will have to bring that back, but we don't really have a jurisdiction over the federal use of their water. We have our own municipal system that we can oversee, but I'll ask about that. If there's any other ways, any other things that they can, like you said, rein them in or however it is, but yeah, but is that okay?
Is it not the island's aquifer that's managed by Board of Water Supply?
So there is the state, the overall management of the water for the Oahu for the entire state is through the Water Commission. So we actually answer to the Water Commission ourselves. So we're just one other user. We provide it domestically to almost all the residents, but there are private water systems around the island also, which federal is their own system, private agriculture, other things like that. So yeah, we
Thank
don't
you.
really have that jurisdiction, but I'll bring that question up anyway. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions for the Board of Water Supply? Thank you very much, Iris.
Thank you.
Before we go on to our next item on our agenda, which is the Kaiser Complex Schools, we're going to have to take about a 5-minute break. We're having some technical difficulties here, and we're going to have to reconnect everything. So could you give us a moment, please? All right, we've been told that we're all set to continue. Next up on our agenda is our report from our Kaiser Complex Schools. Mr. Shannon Gu, principal of Hawaiʻi Elementary School, is here to give the report. Thank you,
Aloha
Shannon.
board, thank you so much for having me. Well, today is the first day back for all teachers and our Kaiser Complex and all DOE schools. And so we're so excited for this coming school year. And the next few days are going to be filled with professional development, planning, prepping, and we also hold our orientation nights to invite families back in to meet their teachers and see their new classrooms. So pretty exciting week and lots of excitement. All right, first up, Kaiser High School. We have our fall sports beginning. That's football, cross country, JV softball, air riflery, soft tennis, bowling, volleyball, and cheer. Big event coming up, our Kaiser PTSA night market. It's going to be 8th, I believe, and it was going to be 4 to 8 p.m. in the parking lot. An update on the International Performing Arts Center. We'll always look forward to that. Well, work is continuing very nicely. The sounding and surveying continues, and they just completed coring sampling. So it's a good step. They're getting the grounds ready and making sure everything's set, and then they can properly adjust for any cost. I did look up some of the honorees that we're having. I think Irv asked last time, but on May 29th, the Athletic Foundation is going to have a luau, and they always have honorees, but they'll announce those honorees shortly. Okay. New Valley, they are offering Spanish as a world language, and this is the first time they're offering it, and they're starting with 6th grade. This joins Mandarin and Japanese offerings. They also have an intentional support for newcomers and for incoming 6th graders. So on August 4th, this day will be dedicated to supporting their transition on campus, just like Kaiser High School, who supports the freshmen and newcomers on their first day. Outside of that, our dual language program here at Hawaiʻi is one of a kind in the DOE. So we teach Japanese, our program. So half the day in English, half the day in Japanese, but it's not split 50-50. It's kind of just woven together. So it's a pretty cool program. Same curriculum, IB, International Baccalaureate curriculum, but just instructed in Japanese. And the idea is for kids to be fluent in both languages, English and Japanese, by the time they reach 8th grade. All right. Right now I have a special guest to help me present, and that is Gavin Antonio, Student Body President.
But from Kaiser High School, not the elementary school.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to present tonight. Thank you, Chair, Mayor, and board members for allowing me this time. My name is Gavin Antonio, and I'm a senior at Kaiser High School and this year's Student Body President. I'm joined tonight by my advisor and Kaiser Student Activities Coordinator, Mr. Paul De La Blas. I'm here this evening to talk about an event that we have coming up fairly quickly. One of the most exciting ways Kaiser brings the community together, and one of my personal favorite school events, is homecoming. It's a busy time for the whole leadership program, and this year, Kaiser High School's Homecoming Week is from September 14th through September 19th. For the third year in a row, we'll be hosting our Homecoming Parade, followed by community spirit rally events such as the Powerpuff Flag football game and the reintroduced Flaming K tradition. This will take place on Thursday of Homecoming Week, being September 17th. The Homecoming Parade itself is planned to begin at 5 p.m. at Cocoa Head Park, go down on Palau Street, turn right on Lunalilo Home Road, and end in the Kaiser parking lot. The parade will feature our cheerleaders, ROTC and Color Guard, our marching band, our student council, and many of our students and student athletes alongside our alumni, and of course, our homecoming court. Aside from some nature and impact of the event, and out of courtesy to our community, we'll be doing our best to publicize. We've already reached out to the multiple condominium associations, as well as the residents in the neighborhoods along the parade routes have the potential and certain impact. Our leadership class plans on going door to door, handing out flyers, and talking with our neighbors, many of whom were Kaiser graduates themselves and very excited to hear about this event. Our team is working in conjunction with the City and County Department of Transportation and Parks and Recreation, the Department of Education Office of Facilities and Operations of the Honolulu Police Department to ensure all goes well. We will be sending the board members digital copies of tonight's flyer, as well as providing physical copies. We would appreciate any help you could provide to ensure all our neighbors are aware and are invited. Kaiser has a packed and exciting year ahead, and as always, we look forward to the variety of collaborations and opportunities for growth for our school and as a community. This past year, our student council received another national recognition as a Gold Council of Excellence, as well as being awarded the Hawaiʻi Oscar Award as a testament to the success of our leadership classes. It's a collective effort from not just our student council, but also our leadership classes and the hard work they put into fostering positive experiences. We plan to continue that legacy for those that follow. It's events like these that serve as an inspiration and reminder of the power of community. We appreciate your support and plan to send representatives to board meetings each month this year. Thank you all very much, and go Cougars. If you have any questions, Mr. De La Blas and I are more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gavin. We look forward to seeing either you or a representative from the high school here at each board meeting. Any questions, by the way, for the student body chair? Go ahead, Sam.
When you turn 18, do you have an interest in joining the neighborhood board?
Give it some consideration. All right. I noticed that Gavin Wong from the, Galen Wong from the Hawaii Department of Transportation is online. So updates for us. Galen, are you there? He might have stepped away from his computer. Okay. Next on our agenda is the election of officers to serve for the next year. This is,
Hello?
There you go, Galen.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Galen?
Yeah, I've been
Go
having
ahead.
computer problems getting on tonight. I just barely made it. I just wanted to share with you a final report on the. Let me see if I can share it. No, I can't share. Well, anyway, I just want to share with you my final report on the legislative bills that was enacted by the governor this past month. All the bills that will be meaningful. I would have shared with you my spreadsheet, but I don't have it on it. I just want to highlight some bills. Act 12, which is House Bill 1510. That's the issuance of the inspection, the safety inspection that they won't allow people with covering or shield that installed over their license plates, and also it amends the law where allows the state or county enforcement officers, the state or county, to issue citations for vehicles with cover or shield obstructing the license plates. So yeah, so they're trying to crack down on the plates, like plates or things that cover the license plates. This will be effective January 1st of next year. House Bill 1667, that is Act number 132, that lowers the age of people who can get a state civil identification card without signature of a parent or guardian from 18 to 16. House Bill 1692, which is Act 95. This is the one about drivers approaching stationary vehicles displaying warning signals to slow down to a reasonable and prudent speed and make a lane change if possible, and safe come to a complete stop if necessary. Provides certain exemptions from passengers restrictions related to the operation of a pickup truck with passengers seated in the bed or low carrying area of the vehicle. So it increases the minimum age to be riding in the bed of a truck, of a pickup truck, from 12 to 16. So from now on, you have to be at least 16 years old, be riding in the back of a pickup truck in bed now. So no one under age of 16 should be in the bed of a truck. Let's see what else acts we have. House Bill 2021, which is Act 259. This is the electric bicycle bill. So this is establishes all the rules and the labeling and all the speeds and stuff like that for the the electric bikes and motor scooters and everything like that. So this is the one that supposed to clarify the state law that people are supposed to follow with the counties. And House Bill 2023, which is Act 260. This is the administering the active intelligent speed assistance systems. So they want us to look into getting intelligent speed assistance systems into cars for people who violate the DUI or all those rules and stuff regulations. So by January 1st of 2028, that we can provide or access these things from a company that will install this in cars for drivers who are habitual speeders or drunk drivers to control their cars amount of speed in their cars.
Dylan?
Yeah.
Besides the latest bills that were passed and
Yeah.
signed into law, could you tell us what has happened about that car that's still in the ravine? Has that been removed?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was trying to contact the Department of Land and Natural Resources because it's actually on their right of ways. We only can go up to that point and clear up and put in back the whatever the make it safe, the guardrails or the roadway. But as far as removing the car out of the area, it's the Department of Land and Natural Resources. I have to give them a call. So I'll try to give them a call and talk to them about what they can do, or how do they go about that, because that's not on our rights of way, and it's on their property rights of way. I just want to also mention some
Follow up. We would appreciate a
on that one.
follow-up on that because you might have to remove that section of the guardrail again.
Yeah, I know. So I will contact someone from Department of Land and Natural Resources Parks and find out what we're supposed to do or what they're supposed to do on that situation. But our crew people saying that, yeah, it's not on our rights of way, and it's in the Land and Natural Resources Park system. So we wouldn't have to. I don't know what we can do. We'd have to check with them. So I'll go touch bases with the
Okay.
Department of Land and Natural Resources and get back to you next month. And also, I just want to
Okay.
mention that, for the red light running intersections, by the end of the year, we're considering 10 more locations for installing the red light running cameras. And I just want to let you know that 2 possible locations are on the Kalaniʻi Highway at the Ainakua Waikui intersection, and also the Kalaniʻi Highway East Hine Road intersection. So those 2 will be considered and be looked at to maybe installing the red light running cameras and speed cams on that one. But the
Can
end
you
of the year, they're
repeat
going to
that
make
again? Ainakoa
Yeah,
was one intersection. What's the other one?
East Hine Drive. The Ainakua Waikui is that one intersection. I'm not too sure about the Ainakua Waikui, where those streets are. And then the second intersection is East Hine Drive.
Okay, thank you.
So by the
think
end of the
all
year,
of-
they will make the decision on the 10, and but before they, start installing these, they'll get back to the communities regarding, what they're going to do with those 10 new intersections that they want to install the red light cameras and the speed cams. So just a heads up that those are the 2 possible locations on in the Hawaii Kalaniʻi Highway section areas.
All
Yeah.
right,
So
thank you
that's
for that
it.
heads up.
And I'll get back to
Okay.
you regarding that vehicle in the Land and Natural Resources. I just forgot to. So busy with other things that I have to go contact someone from the Land and Natural Resources and find out what
All
the
right,
status,
thank you so much.
how we could resolve that.
Galen, we have some questions for you. Herb,
Yeah.
and then Greg.
Yeah.
Isn't the LNR state? And
Yeah,
you're the
they are,
state
but
rep, sir.
there's things that you gotta work out with even though it's state part of the state, we still gotta defer to their property as the owners of that property. Whereas they would have to also, if something happened on our side and it's next to their property, they would have to work with us. Yeah, so it's a situation that's how they do things. All
Thank
that
you.
red, all that red tape and working with another state
My
department.
second one is, Galen, my second one is, I brought it up a couple of times before, those delineators, when you're coming off the H1 freeway, they're getting smashed up because there is no visual to keep them from crossing right into it. You can see
Yeah.
it. It's like,
Yeah, and
it's
I know
bust up bad.
I talked to
and
the
I
people.
suggested,
Yeah,
and
I talked
I
to the people about it.
suggested you go back a ways and put double solid white or something to at least let people know they shouldn't be changing lanes.
And
But
and going over the delineators, right? They're kind of like
exactly.
right. Okay, I'll go contact the
thank
guys
you.
again. Is that all?
Okay, and Galen, I just wanted to emphasize some, Chair Roberta had mentioned that there needs to be some cooperation between transportation and DLNR to remove that crashed vehicle, because the guardrail will have to be removed. So please, when you bring this up, do in the acknowledgement that there is an effort by both departments needed
Yeah.
to get this accomplished.
I
And
know.
not just to kind of put blame or anything on it. It actually, technically, the car crossed your property and maybe it landed there, but that's even worth measuring because it's awfully
Yeah.
close to the
Oh.
road, but on the other side of the guardrail.
Yeah, I'm
But
gonna talk
another
to
thing I
them.
wanted to bring up, is Kalanianaole has had lots of slowdowns lately. And it seems like Department of Transportation should be looking at various solutions to keep the flow going. Just today, there was evidently some cutting by Hawaiian Electric around Kalani High School, but backing traffic all the way up into Hawaii Kai. I
What
would
time was this?
imagine in order, pardon?
What time was this happening?
During the day, I don't know, it was in the morning. Yeah, it was horrendous. But I would think that Department of Transportation would have allowed a permit or something. Does Hawaiian Electric have to cooperate with the state departments in order to get lane closures? And, okay, so there's that. I haven't heard recently, but just, it's likely around Calvary by the Sea Church with their food distribution. That is always a problem when they happen. So I would think Department of Transportation could enforce some rule that there is no backup into the through lanes and just allow left turns from the left turn lane, but not blocking the regular flow, something like that. And you told us that the resurfacing of Kalanianaole out around Makapu'u would begin sometime later this year. Well, it's well underway. The resurfacing has happened from about Makapu'u State Park to at least to the golf course. So I wonder if you have any updated report on that and what to expect. I receive notices about lane closures every week, and I have not seen anything on that. I watched the Hawaii News Now where they report on the weekend what lane closures to anticipate. There's clearly lane closures going on that have not been reported for Kalanianaole Highway. So please give us an update on that.
Okay, yeah, I'll go talk to find out the status and why they not communicating on these projects. In
And
the
by the way, it's
Calvary
a
by
good
the
thing
sea?
that you're resurfacing the highway. Thank you.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure the LNR, the car is near Sandy Beach, right? That abandoned or whatever
It's around the corner as you're going toward Makapu'u. If you turn the corner past the golf course and before
Okay.
the next big turn, it's
That's the golf
to the
course
left.
before
In
Makapu'u.
Kaiwi, it's in Kaiwi State Scenic
Okay.
Park.
Okay. AV State Park. Okay. I kind of have an idea now.
All right, thank you
Okay.
very much, Galen. Lots to report back on next month.
Yeah, I got it. I'll
Okay,
I'll,
thank
I'll
you.
run these things down and I'll get back to you next month.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, moving on our agenda, as I was saying earlier, this is our annual election of officers. Our board officers are elected by our membership and serve for one-year terms. So every July, we elect our officers. Currently, I'm serving as the chair, Greg Knudsen is vice chair, Lisa Bishop is secretary, and Elizabeth Riley is treasurer. Okay, we're going to be opening the nominations for chair, and I'm going to let Anson, our neighborhood assistant, manage this section.
Okay, is there any nomination for chair? Oh, okay.
Second.
Roberta is nominated.
Okay. Okay. Just say in the mic. Yep.
Hanson, I second.
Okay. Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. When I say your name, when I call your name, please say Mayor. Alan? Mayor, okay. Is Alton online? Yes, we still have to do a voice vote. It's a procedural thing. Bishop?
Mayor.
Okay. Donnelly?
Mayor.
Okay. Knudsen?
Mayor.
Okay. Mayor?
I guess I have to vote for myself, Mayor.
Riley?
Oh, Mayor, yes, please.
Okay. Shriner?
Mayor.
Okay. Wolf?
Mayor.
Okay. And Bender?
Mayor.
Okay, that's 9 votes. She's still the chair.
Thank you all.
Anson, are there term limits on the neighborhood board?
Well, term limits are, it's 1-year term. So anybody who is interested in serving, it's only a 1-year term. Okay. Nominations are open for vice chair. Herb?
I nominate Greg Knudsen.
Is there a
Second.
I said.
Second by Bender. All right. Any other nominations? And the nominations are closed, and Anson will do the roll call.
Okay, when I call your name, please say Knudsen. Alan? Okay. Bishop?
Knutson.
Donnelly?
Knutson.
Okay, Knudsen?
Knutson.
Okay, Mayor?
Knudsen.
Okay. Riley?
Knudsen.
Shriner?
Knudsen.
Wolf?
Knudsen.
And Bender?
Knutson.
Okay, that's 9 votes.
Congratulations, Greg. Nominations are open for a secretary.
I nominate Lisa Bishop.
Okay. Lisa Bishop's been nominated. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Shriner seconds. Any other nominations for secretary? Then nominations are closed and Anson will do the roll call. We're sorry, audience, but this is being.
Okay, when I call your name, please say Bishop. Alan? Okay. Bishop?
Bishop.
Okay, Donnelly?
Bishop.
Okay, Knudsen?
Bishop.
Okay, Mayor?
Bishop.
Okay, Riley?
Bishop.
Okay, Shriner?
Bishop.
Okay, Wolf?
Bishop.
Okay, and Bender?
Bishop.
Okay, that's 9 votes.
Congratulations, Lisa. And nominations are open for treasurer.
Riley.
Riley's been nominated. Is there a second? Knudsen
Second.
seconds. Any other nominations for secretary? Excuse me, treasurer. Thank you. The nominations are closed and we'll do a roll call.
Okay, when I call your name, say Riley this time. Alan? Okay, Bishop?
Riley.
Okay, Donnelly?
Riley.
Okay, Knudsen?
Riley.
Okay, Mayor?
Riley.
Okay. Riley?
Riley.
Okay.
Riley.
Wolf?
Riley.
And Bender?
Riley.
Okay, that's 9. We're good.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. And I want to thank the members who are willing to serve another term in a board officer position. And I encourage other members to be willing to volunteer, perhaps next year. We'd like to get some young blood in here. Okay, moving on. We're moving on to our community announcements. People who have brief announcements that they would like to bring to the attention of the community. Lisa, we'll start.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I wanted to share that the Department of Parks and Recreation is working on a major sewer system improvement at Hanauma Bay, and it's going to start, it's in 2 phases. It's going to start first phase between the 3rd and 11th of August. So during that week, Hanauma Bay is going to be closed, and they're going to be doing some major upgrades to the sewer system. The second phase is going to be in early 2027. They don't have a date yet, but it's going to be a $1.8 million sewer improvement, and it should be make some major renovations and upgrades to the sewer system. There is a DPR press release that was issued on the 2nd of July of this year. I shared it with, and hopefully she'll have a chance to share it with the rest of the board members. I don't know if the mayor's rep is going to share it with the members today and the audience today, but it looks like they're going to be replacing the 35-year-old sewer system serving the comfort stations at both the beach and the parking lot levels, and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's much needed. It's going to be inconvenience to the visitors who won't be able to come to the bay, but it's very much needed. So hopefully it's going to last for many, many years to come. Thank you.
All right, come on up.
To lighten the evening, how many of you believe in reincarnation? Raise your hands. Good to see you again. How many of you don't? You would have had to been there. My name is Tom Cooper, and I'm speaking on behalf of so much curiosity. I just thought it'd be fun to do something light. I represent Hawaiʻi Advocates for Respectful Development, the grassroots group which aspires to protect and preserve the James, 7-Eleven, Boston Pizza, and Cocoa Head buildings. If you haven't yet signed our petition, which continues to grow as we aim for our goal of 10,000 signatures, please go to our website, www.hahaioniadvocates.com. Please spread the word. We also have a survey, and the owners of those parcels, KSBE, have said they will look at all the data when we've submitted it. So it's an important survey to us, to them, and to the community. My daughter has a way that you can sign. She has the QR code. If you raise your hand, she can give you a copy of that. You can also go online to our website. This Saturday, August 1st, some of the James alumni who are part of a group called James Bond, get it, James Bond, bonded alumni, will be touring the James building and having lunch there on us. We'll serve pizza from Boston Pizza and drinks from 7-Eleven, since we want to support them and protect all the properties, as well as Cocoa Head Plaza, where the 2 churches, the yoga studio, the Keiki Center, and many small businesses have a home. James Bond is yet another group that wishes to see the building preserved and used in community activities. We want to thank Mr. Takeshi Hori'i and one of our new members, Carlton Tomomitsu, and our friends at Boston Pizza at 7-Eleven and Cocoa Head, such as Brad Coles, for putting all this together. We want to give thanks to the board, other boards in Hawaii Kai, and I want to give a special shout out to elected officials such as Tommy Waters, who has been 100% behind us and done a lot of publicity for us. Rep. Joe Gideon has done the same several times. Senators Chris Lee, Stanley Chang, Rep. Mark Hashem Mark's here, right? Did I see him come in? And he has helped by co-sponsoring an event. Many of the candidates are beginning to say they support HARD. I see Kahi here tonight. Jason Liang is supporting HARD. We would appreciate everyone supporting HARD. So we thank you, Roberta, and all others on the board, and especially any of those who have taken time to support us. And I just want to say about this board, listen to all these names. These are people who've been to heart events. Sam, have talked to us. Greg, Elizabeth, Joanna, Paula, Herb, Lisa, and anyone I may have accidentally omitted. And Robbie has said he will be helping. So that's just about everyone. Thank you. And if you do believe in reincarnation, look forward to seeing you again.
Good evening, board. My name is Michael Garrison. I own Hawaiʻi Running Lab. Nice to see everybody again. This is my second time each year coming by to share news about our 5th Hawaiʻi Kai Mile. It's turning into a very vibrant and exciting community event. We will be hosting this on October 25th. The race starts, it's just a 1 mile run and walk. It will start at the skate park and finish up at Kaiser High School. With the new student body president here, I'll touch base with Principal Gu about getting them on board as well. I'm just here to let you guys know that the event is happening. We close 1 lane for approximately 45 minutes on the Cocoa Head side of Lunalila Home Road, going from the skate park to the high school. And it's been a fantastic event so far, and we hope to see you all there. We have a so whichever team signs up the most runners gets a cash prize at the end. And you can register and see more information at hawaiikaimile.com. And I'm here for any questions if anybody has any.
Questions for Michael? How many numbers do you have now? What's the participation?
Current registration is 38. We're trending to be right around 250, which would be our largest to date.
Wow.
Yeah, we moved over to a brand new registration site that allows our participants to share their registration and invite followers on Strava, which those of you that do anything active, run, bike, swim, surf, row, all those things, you can log on your Strava and kind of share all that. So now Strava's on board, and we're hoping for some bigger numbers this year. We trend right around 200 to 210 each year so far.
That's great. Thank you very much, Michael, for coming and sharing this information with us.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for sharing this with my daughters. This was their first neighborhood board event. So
well, I hope that they'll come again.
We're off to get them sleeping soon. But yeah, this was fun for them. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Other community announcements?
How's it going, everybody? It's Kahi Picaro, candidate for House of Representatives for District 19. I just wanted to share some quick data, but before I do, thanks for all the honks and the waves that everybody's sending when I'm out there waving signs. I appreciate it. We've got in District 19, 17,560 registered voters, of which to date, we've had 2,806 of them turn in their ballots. That's a turnout rate of about 16%. And we average at about 40% turnout rate, which is actually kind of high for Hawaii, if you believe it or not. But I just want to encourage the community to get out and vote. It's extremely important. It's part of our civic duty. And I hope to be your elected leader next time we have one of these meetings. Aloha.
Thank you, Kahi. Anyone else? Come on up.
Aloha, Chair. Hello, Hawaii Kai. Once again, I'm Bobby Silva. I'm just coming to say aloha and introduce myself. I'm running for State Senate for District 25. And just like Kahi said, hope to be able to represent you guys in the upcoming legislature this year. So.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Jay Yang, candidate for City Council District 4. Just an announcement, a PSA that I want to provide is that on July 17th, this past month, was the inaugural meeting for the Property Tax Committee. We discussed a Proposition 13-like proposal for the City Council. You can also email the chair of the committee. His name is Bruce Wong. His email is bwoom@gmail.com. And you can hear about when our next meeting will be, and I hope you'll attend. Thank you.
Are there any other candidates for political office that are here tonight that would like to introduce themselves to the community?
Aloha.
My name is James Otaro, candidate for District 18, State House of Representatives. I do want to share something with you guys that's coming up on the ballot in November, for the November ballot. There's going to be a charter initiative on this, it's gonna be charter amendment number 1. And it's going to take half of real property tax and commit it to a food sustainability program to help with food insecurity in the state. And it's important, the message I want to get to everybody is there was an amendment like this in 2022 that would have went to affordable housing, and that initiative didn't pass because people thought it was a new tax. This isn't a new tax. This is taking the current RPT and taking half of 1% of that. So it's the same amount we're getting. We're just reallocating that money to food sustainability. Because in Hawaii, I also serve on the board at the Hawaii Food Bank, and 1 in 4 families in 4 families in Hawaii goes hungry. And if you add Alice families into that, it's 1 in 3. So this money will go directly to help with food insecurity in the state. And it's twofold because that money is going to be used to purchase local produce and goods from local farmers. So we'll be supporting farmers as well as providing a healthier alternative to those families who need food from the food bank and other places, as opposed to just giving them, canned Spam and rice. We'll be able to support our farmers and provide healthier food. So when that amendment comes out, I don't want any confusion as to whether or not it's a new tax. It's not a new tax. It's taking exactly what we have and just reallocating it to that. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Any other community announcements? I see a hand up online. Elizabeth, go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to give a shout out to the Hawaiʻi Marina Association President Malia Marquez and also Charlie Hunter. When the graffiti happened on the Hawaiʻi sign as you enter Hawaiʻi, there was immediate response by those entities, and the sign looks great today, right now. I mean, hours later. So I just thought it was very impressive, the proactiveness, the coming together. And I wanted to do a shout out. Thank you. A shout out of mahalo. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Community announcements? All right. Are there any public generated issues that the community would like to bring to the board's attention? All right, seeing none, we're going to be moving on to our presentation tonight. And our presentation is on the City and County of Honolulu's Clean Water and Natural Lands Program. And our presenter is Van Matsushige. He's the program manager from the Department of Housing and Land Management Conservation Office. Welcome, Van. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Aloha mai kako. Thank you, Chair and Board, for having me to present a brief overview of the Clean Water and Natural Land Program. I'm Van Matsushige, Office, which is housed under the Department of Housing and Land Management. Next slide, please. So in the essence of time, and I understand that the meetings tend to go long sometimes, so I'm trying to keep this as concise as possible. The presentation involves an overview of the program, highlights of some of the projects, more specifically in East Honolulu, and lastly, finish with community. Next slide, please. So the program was established in 2007, which is a while back ago, and you probably think, well, I should know about it. And the truth is not many people do know about the program. So I'm here to hopefully give you some insight and spread the word. So in 2007, there was a charter amendment that allowed for using the real property tax. So 0.5% of real property tax is allocated to the Clean Water and Natural Land Fund, which provides funding for land acquisition. And the balance of the last 10 years has been charter amendments. So in 2016, there was an amendment to allow for an advisory commission. It's a 7-member commission. One of our commissioners, our chair, in fact, Kai Picaro, is here. So you can ask him questions after. In 2022, we had stewardship funding approved by charter amendment, and this allowed for 5% of the previous year's deposit put into a stewardship fund. And in 2023, it moved from the Budget and Finance Department to Department of Land Management. And in 2025, DHLM created the Conservation Office, where we have 3 full-time staff that actively manage the program. Next slide, please. So in order to qualify for funding for the program, it needs to meet conservation values, at least one of the 7 conservation values. As you can see from the slide, these are very much involved with ecology, the protection of watershed lands, forests, beaches, providing public access, outdoor recreation, and education. There's also funds for historic and cultural sites. So some of the sites are hails or burial sites, habitat protection, and one is for mitigation of hazards such as erosion and rockfall hazards and fire mitigation as well, and public access to space. Next slide, please. So there are 2 types of acquisitions that we fund. One is your everyday fee simple, where the landowner conveys all their interests to the land to a entity. Usually this is a county department. So we have a couple of acquisitions that the Department of Parks and Rec owns, as well as Department of Enterprise Service. And the other is conservation easements. I think most of you probably aren't familiar with the conservation easement. This is a real estate interest where there's a restriction placed over the property in perpetuity. And what this does is it limits a lot of times development of the property, and it runs with the land. So even if the land were to change hands, the conservation easement would protect the property. And when I say protect, this is a negotiation between the landowner and the co-holder of the easement, which is the city. And a lot of times this would be things like restricting subdivision of the property, building of structures or limiting the number of structures, manage public access. So really trying to preserve the conservation values of the property through this easement. Next slide, please. The proposal process is involved, to say the least, but it is a process that ensures that there's a thorough vetting of the application and a thorough vetting of the property during due diligence. So the first part is where we vet the inquiry from the applicant and ensure that it meets the qualifications. When it does go through that process, then it will go to our advisory commission. Commission would review the application, and if they recommend it, then that goes to the city council for approval of funding. And if that goes through, then there's a negotiation of the conservation easement, and we do due diligence and then closing. So it's a quite involved process, and you'll probably ask how long it takes. And I'll answer it. It takes probably anywhere from a good day, 1 year, 12 months, to probably more like 24 months from start to finish, because it does involve, again, we're using taxpayer money, a very thorough analysis of the project as well as the due diligence. Next slide, please. So these are the sites across the island. And, you look at the map and say, whoa, all these dots are on the North Shore and East Honolulu. And that's true. And I think part of the reason, at least from my experience, is, this is really community driven, and it's in these communities that the projects are brought to us and then brought to their lawmakers as well to kind of push it along. And I'm not saying that the other parts of the island don't have interest. It's probably not as active, I think, as the North Shore and East Honolulu. Next slide, please. So right now we have 14 properties across Oahu that's been protected, another 4 which is in due diligence process, covering over 1,400 acres and using about $38 million of the fund. Of that, 5 of the projects are in East Honolulu, accounting for just over $11 million. Next slide. Now, the projects in East Honolulu are very unique and very different in many ways. Down the road, you have Heao and Keavava wetland. And that property is, I consider, the jewel of Mauna Loa because it has such great cultural and ecological values. And I've been to the property a number of times. And this is a 5-acre property. Many people would drive by it not knowing that it exists, but it does. And it's an important part of keeping the property open. Otherwise, it would have been developed like the property next door, which is a condominium development. Next slide, please. Ka'iwimauka lands is also in Hawaii Kai and is 180 acres of protected land that was destined to be developed like all these other properties. This is back in 2017. It has a lot of historical and cultural significance. I can't tell you the whole history of it, but there are people that have a lengthy mo'olelo of the property. And it does provide for open space and lake recreation. Just a couple months ago, the management plan was finalized for this property. And this basically provides a blueprint for the next 5 to 10 years of how the community group will manage the property. Next slide. So outside of the main Hawaii Kai area and moving more westward on Kalanainoa Highway is Kaneohe Springs. And again, another oasis in East Honolulu, where it's the only freshwater spring that leads to the ocean in urban Honolulu. And it is an important historical property with remnants, cultural remnants as well. Next slide. Going further down the road is Lower Paiko Ridge. This was closed in October of last year. It's a smaller 3.5 acre property. And when you look at the photo, kind of wondering what are you protecting? It actually acts as a buffer zone to the deeper valley where a lot of the endangered species are. So it's an important part to protect things above and below. And below there's a watershed as well that it protects. Next slide. And the last one is Wailupe Nature Reserve. This is the one that's held in fee simple interest by the city and county, with DPR being the manager of the property. It's a 9.5 acre property that connects with DLNR's land. So it's an important part where, again, it leads to many of the endangered plant and native animal species. Next slide. So one of the things I'll leave you with is, the program provides financing for land acquisitions. But what really drives all this is community engagement, as I mentioned earlier, and driving advocacy. So when there are projects, it's pressing the lawmakers to help move this along. And that's a key. The other shared stewardship. So we have great community groups out here in East Honolulu. But I think, they could use more community support as well. It's often the same people that come out to work days, things like that. So they'd like to see different faces and greater community involvement. And the last is just being vigilant as community members, because you're the ones that see things that are happening or see things that shouldn't be happening. And I think that's where reporting comes in and monitoring and letting, community groups as well as the city and the state about some of these actions or even opportunities. Some of these, but Kaneohe Spring, for example, is only 33,000 square feet. It's not a big property. So it doesn't have to be large. It can be something as small as that. We just ask that community remain engaged so that we can develop more projects. Next slide. So that's all I have. Mahalo for your time and for the opportunity. I think we want to continue working with the community, especially here in East Honolulu, so that we can steward and protect these properties.
Are there any questions for our presenter tonight? Yes, Sam?
Thank you so much for the presentation and for the work that you do. I feel very proud that our city is doing this and making a conscious effort. And I feel like it should have been done a long time ago, but better late than never. I'm curious, I know there's funding to acquire the lands, and then there's you're allowing access for nonprofit groups to go and restore. Is there any funding available for nonprofits to do the outplantings or to try to clear away invasives and try to just be a little bit more proactive and, things like strawberry guava or now with coqui frogs taking over or CRB, we need to be a lot more vigilant in the more Mauka areas to root out the invasives from spreading.
Right. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, so the stewardship fund that I mentioned provides funding for such things as maintenance management of the properties. But that's limited to those groups that were provided funding for the land acquisition via the fund. So outside stewarding groups that did not use this fund to initially acquire the lands are not eligible for the stewardship funds. So the ones in East Honolulu, all of those groups are eligible for stewardship funds to do the work, as you mentioned.
What is your current budget, Van? Last month we had your state counterpart come to present. And we were told actually by a city councilman that you have about $70 million for this purpose. Is that correct?
Sheepishly, yes. We have money. We have a healthy bank account. And I think what's important to understand with that is the fund, it may look like a lot of money, but as you know, land prices are very high. And, we need the fund for acquisitions. And there are acquisitions out there where, require, upwards of 20 million sometimes. And so that fund is very valuable in its current state at 7 million.
Elizabeth, you have your hand up.
Yes, I do. Hey,
Go
Van.
ahead.
Yeah, I do. Two questions, Van. One question is, does the operating expenses for running the office come from the revenue that you get from the 0.5%? And then the other is, there has been some confusion, and perhaps you could tell us what the latest is about the Charter Commission talking about changes to this program or taking money or rediverting it, even a change to the name or in addition to the name. Is there anything you can share with us at this point in time? It would be helpful.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Regarding your first question about administrative costs, by ordinance, it is 5% of our account, I guess. So we're funding the Clean Water and Natural Land Fund administration and operating costs.
Great.
Your second question regarding charter amendment, yes, for some reason, we're very popular. We've been on a number of charter amendments, and it looks like we may be on the charter amendment for this coming election. And there have been a lot of proposals because the fund is rather healthy. They're looking to apply the funds to other purposes. And one purpose is for historical buildings. So that, I'm not sure if it reached the final 10 or so, but it is in the running for the final amendment to be on the ballot. And it proposes to use the fund for the not only acquisition, but the improvements of a historical building, and also to potentially change the name so that it's clear that it's historical buildings and not only clean water and natural land. We'll have more of an update probably in the next couple of weeks when the Charter Commission makes their final recommendation.
May I have a follow-up?
Of course, go ahead.
Thank you kindly. Are there any more opportunities to testify before the Charter Commission? And then the last is there a way, and I don't know if this would happen through the Charter Commission, of structuring it so that the integrity of the cultural and natural resources, rank higher than whatever else they're going to be adding on?
Yes, so Elizabeth, I think there is an ability to provide testimony. However, I think in its current form, they're contemplating really which amendments will make the ballot. So I don't know how much they'll change the form of the actual charter amendment question.
Okay, thank you.
Sam and then Lisa.
Are there any other plots of land in East Honolulu that the office is seeking to acquire?
Currently not. There is one that was recently approved by the city council, recommended by the commission and approved by the city council, which is in Wailupe. It's a burial cave that the Office of Hawaiian Affairs will be the fee owner, and the lineal descendants will be the stewards of the property. So that is currently under due diligence.
At what point in the budget process does your department's budget come up? I mean, when is the best time when we can weigh in and provide testimony in support of financing your department?
So
but ensuring that you get the funding for your department, because clearly funding for this fund has helped our district, our area, and we want to make sure that you get adequate funding, continue to get adequate funding. So how can we best help you is what I'm trying to get to.
Understand. I appreciate that, Lisa. So we have funding. The question really isn't a matter of if we have enough funding. It's just allocating what we have financially as resources for the land acquisitions. But the process does begin with us internally, and of course, as it gets closer to the fiscal year, there are public hearings about this. And we're housed under the Department of Housing and Land Management, so not as a separate entity. So when it does get heard, it's with the entire department.
Well, thank you for funding so many projects out here. We really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Paula?
Hi, Van, great presentation. I'm on the committee, I'm on the board here for less than a year, so I don't have a lot of history on things that happened in this area. Excuse me. But if there is land, say, by the stables that's as called conservative or designated conservative, and the person who owns it wants to develop it, do you come in those situations? Do you weigh in and have any kind of influence on that? I know that I probably don't know that, but I assume many of us out here would not like to see that happen.
So our office, the mission of our office is to process the application. We're not out there to necessarily advocate, which is why we need the community to be the ones going out there and being the voice, and then coming to us with the application for such a project. But really, in that sort of situation, I would always recommend to the community, reach out to your lawmakers and have them help you to maybe get the landowner to somehow sell the land to a group who could steward the property. And then you can come to us with the application for that we would review, recommend, and hopefully fund.
Elizabeth?
I want to speak to what Paula just mentioned. The Group 70 on Cocoa Villas development that we're going to be readdressing at some point in time. There's two TMKs, and the TMK that everybody is really concerned about is up against the base of Cocoa Crater, Ko'lepe'lepe. And make no mistake about it, they have been approached. They are aware of this program. I believe Representative Joe Gideon has spoken with them. I've spoken with them about it. And we'll continue to talk to them about extracting that one TMK, possibly working with DPR, expanding that area. And our organization has even offered to help in stewardship and creating a fire break. And, there are all kinds of cool things you can do. So, Paula, I wanted to mention that, and I'm not shy about mentioning it to the larger community. It's a wonderful idea. This is the perfect fund for that. And they have been notified about it. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. We'll keep trying.
Mahalo, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm aware of that too. It's preservation zone, so they're trying to change the zone, right?
Right. Oh, and Tommy Waters is aware of it too. We spoke with them. We usually talk about these things under the radar until you have a willing landowner. I'm speaking really way out of, I wouldn't normally do this, but I think it's important enough to mention with Van being here and with Paula's question. So plant those seeds.
Well, that's good to know, Van, because we are quite protective of a lot of our preservation lands here because there isn't very much of it left. I want to thank you very much for coming. Oh, you have a question? You need to come up to the microphone so that others online can hear the question.
Hi, Jason Liang. I was wondering if there was a building in question that initiated this proposal to allocate funds towards preserving historic buildings, or if there are any that are on a particular list that are being looked at as this fund is being considered.
Sorry, you're asking if there's currently any buildings no, currently there aren't any buildings. So the way the charter is written, it's for cultural and historical sites and lands. Of course, lands are being protected. Sites could be buildings, but to date, we've never received an application for a cultural or historical building at all. Yeah,
Any other questions for our presenter tonight? All right, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you being here. And board members, I'm going to be emailing the presentation to all of you in a day or two. Okay, thank you so much.
The fire department just showed up.
Welcome. No, that's okay. The Honolulu Fire Department has joined us this evening, and we'd like to welcome them to the podium so that they can make their report. Thank you very much for joining us. You must have been busy on an emergency earlier.
Sorry for being late. All right, the Honolulu Fire Department would like to provide the statistics below representing the confirmed number of incidents in the neighborhood's board's geographical area for the previous month. However, for information previously requested for the paddlers that was rescued from overturned canoes offshore of Hanauma Bay in Hawaii. On June 27th, 2026, the HFD received a 911 call at 9:17 a.m. and responded to a boater in distress offshore of Hanauma Bay with 6 units and 20 personnel. The first HFD unit arrived on scene at the Lanai Lookout at 9:27 a.m. and confirmed an overturned canoe with 6 paddlers in the water. Additional HFD units responded to launch a rescue boat and establish a nearby landing zone in preparations for operations by air and ocean. It was reported that 3 canoes encountered high sea high and rough sea conditions and were overturned approximately 1 mile offshore. Personnel from the Honolulu Ocean Safety Department also responded with rescue watercrafts, and bystanders on vessels nearby also provided aid. A total of 20 paddlers were safely transported to shore. Once all paddlers were accounted for on shore, HFD's Air One located all canoes and HFD's rescue boat, HOSD skis, and the bystander vessel towed the canoes back to shore. The incident statistics for June 2026, we had 0 structure fires, 0 wildland brush fires, 0 cooking fires, 2 activated alarms with no fire, 65 medical calls, no motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians, 1 motor vehicle crash collision, 4 mountain rescues, 1 ocean rescue, and 0 hazardous materials incidents. The fire safety tip and announcements is regarding hiking safety. Popular summer activities often include hiking our beautiful island trails. Here are some helpful tips to ensure you enjoy your adventure safely. Plan ahead. Choose a trail that is within your skill and stamina level. Visit www.hawaiitrails.org for more information about official trails. Check the weather. Remember to factor the rain, wind, and swell forecast. Stay on the trail. Never leave the trail or endanger yourself for a photo. Bring up knows your plans and watch the time. Ensure you can return home. That's all.
Thank you, Captain. Are there questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? Do you know where the mountain and ocean rescues took place?
It was off of, or the mountain rescues, no, but just that one, the ocean one that we have with the paddlers.
Oh, okay.
I can have that be presented next meeting.
We're always curious if the mountain rescues are at the Cocoa Crater Stairs.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't have it this time.
Okay. Captain, also earlier this evening, I heard from a resident from the peninsula who questioned whether or not it's necessary for the fire department to use their sirens late at night when they're exiting the fire house.
Yes.
And if there are no cars on the road, is it still necessary to use the sirens instead of just the flashing lights?
Yes, in order for us to respond, normally when we respond to an emergency, we're going faster than the normal speed limit. And anytime the law allows us to do that with sirens and lights on. We do have a certain instance where if it's just a person who needs help lifting up, we don't have to use the sirens. But unfortunately, if we're going to respond to an emergency when someone needs help faster than the normal speed limit, then the law allows us to do that with lights and siren. And it's just for people's safety, especially at night when people can't see and anything.
Okay, I think the issue was exiting the firehouse, whether, because you're not on the road traveling. And so exiting the firehouse, do you need the sirens or can there, do the lights normally change automatically to red to keep traffic from coming across?
Our opticoms, sometimes they turn the lights so that we can proceed through. It's not always the case though.
Okay.
But when we respond out of the firehouse, we normally respond with lights and sirens. And we understand it's at nighttime that people are sleeping and stuff. So sometimes we do turn it off when we're by the fire station when we're leaving. But when we start to go fast, we have to have the lights and sirens on. So we'll try to keep that in mind too.
Okay, that would be helpful, I think.
Yeah. Everyone's trying to sleep, right?
All right, are there other questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? All right, thank you very much. I'm glad you were able to join us tonight.
Thank you, and I apologize for being late again.
That's quite all right. We know that you have a very busy schedule.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Next on our agenda, we're looking for 3 members of the community to join us on the neighborhood board. We have 3 at-large seats that are available for the next term, for the next year. Is there anybody here who would like to be considered? All right, well, I will ask again next month. Thank you. We're moving on to our officials' reports. And our first is Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Amy Asselby. Hello, Amy, you're online, so take it away.
Thank you, Chair Mayor. I have a few updates, and I'll start though with a couple of announcements. One from the Department of Transportation Services and one from the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability and Resiliency. The first announcement is that the Honolulu Department of Transportation Services is lowering speed limits in school zones across Oahu to improve roadway safety. This is as legislated by City Council Ordinance 24-32. Posted speed limits on city and county of Honolulu roadways that border a school will be changed from 25 miles per hour when children are present to 20 miles per hour between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. on school days only. In addition to the new speed limit signs, the city will be installing and replacing school zone signage within 1,000 feet of the school if the signage is missing, faded, or does not meet current federal standards. There are more than 200 schools on our island, so this large-scale effort involves thousands of roadway signs. Given resource constraints within the city, these changes will be implemented in phases over the coming years, starting near public schools. Priority school zones within each city council district were identified based on school enrollment, Title I status, students living within walking distance, level of education, crash history in the area, and speeding issues in the area. For roadways not under city jurisdiction, the department will request lower school zone speed limits from the appropriate roadway owners and operators. If you have any questions, they suggest you email CCHSRTS, so that's like City and County of Honolulu Safe Routes to School, CCHSRTS@honolulu.gov. The next announcement is that the Youth Climate Action Fund application window is open. So the Mayor's Office of Climate Change, Sustainability and Resiliency and the Honolulu Youth Commission are implementing a new Youth Climate Action Fund, and this will support youth who have a project up to $4,999 to design and implement a climate project. Applications will be accepted from July 27th, so that's yesterday, through September 7th. If you want to learn more or submit an application, visit www.resilientoahu.org/YCAF, so Youth Climate Action Fund. Okay. And for my updates to some of the inquiries, there was a question about the police presence last month around Sandy Beach and along Kalanianaʻole Highway by Coco Marina Shopping Center. So HPD responded that officers were conducting routine patrol operations and proactive enforcement in the area. The presence of multiple officers at Sandy Beach Park and along Kalanianaʻole Highway between Coco Marina Shopping Center and Sandy Beach Park were related to ongoing efforts to promote public safety, address traffic concerns, and ensure compliance with applicable laws. Operational deployments and enforcement activities may vary based on the identified community needs, traffic conditions, public complaints, and other public safety considerations. For officer safety and operational security, specific enforcement strategies and deployment details are not publicly disclosed. I do not have an update on Cocoa Crater Stables. Number two. Number three, this was with regard to a request for weather-resistant trash cans at Halona Blowhole. And DPR said, while there are upgraded waste bins at Kuhio Beach Park, they were donated as a gift to the city and county of Honolulu from JTB. So lids at the Halona location are just the regular trash receptacles. and they have been frequently misused by the public or they are blown off by strong winds. Yes, this does reduce their effectiveness and make them difficult to maintain. DPR will, of course, continue to monitor the area and replace the trash lids as needed. But I think their point is that those bins were donated to the city and county versus purchased, the ones that were mentioned in Waikiki. And then with regard to Mauna Lua Bay restroom access in terms of wheelchair accessibility, the Department of Parks and Recreation says at this time, the city does not have any CIP improvement projects for Mauna Lua Bay restrooms. There is no plan to renovate or reconstruct the facilities, so the city is currently not planning accessibility upgrades. However, should the city design and plan for future improvements to the park, ADA compliant features would be incorporated into those plans. In addition, the Mauna Lua Bay Beach Park Comfort Station is cleaned twice a day during working hours. That is between 6:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. Staff will continue to monitor the comfort station and clean and sanitize as needed. No update on the statue maintenance at Hanauma Bay Visitor Center yet. And the only other update I have is with regard to the coconut rhinoceros beetles and who is managing that with regard to coconut rhinoceros beetles in Hanauma Bay. The Department of Parks and Recreation Division of Urban Forestry has treated the coconut palms at Hanauma Bay Nature Preserve with systemic insecticide in November 2024 and December 2025. The chemical has a residual effect of approximately 1 year. The palms are scheduled to be treated again in December 2026 with the same insecticide. The Division of Urban Forestry has been treating coastal coconut palms from Kaka'ako Waterfront Park and Kaka'ako Mauka Gateway and Makai Gateway Parks to Leahi Beach Park with the same systemic insecticide once a year. Hanauma Bay Nature Preserve is the only DPR park that is treated beyond Leahi Beach Park due to limited resources. The Division of Urban Forestry is not aware of other CRB treatments by other agencies of the city on the island at this time. And that concludes my report. I welcome any questions.
Questions for the mayor's representative? Sam?
Thank you, Amy, for coming and giving your report. Two things. So I mentioned it to Lieutenant the HPD Nakamura, I believe, earlier about excessive amounts of human feces at Vavamalu. I was wondering if DPR could regularly go to walk that beach area fronting Kealoha Street, where there are formerly used handy vans parked there and clearly a homeless presence that are using the beach as their restroom. If they could go and just clean up that area on a more regular basis, since it doesn't seem that we could get the problem solved for removing those individuals from living there. The same problem also exists at Baby Makapu'u, while it's not in the neighborhood boards district. I had sent some videos to my Kailua Instagram page, and it then was picked up by the news about the excessive amounts of debris left behind by the homeless that are living there. The place is just absolutely trashed, and it's unfortunate that trying to bring my 4-year-old son to have an appreciation of the ocean, and all the places that I bring him are either covered in human crap or in excessive amounts of trash. So if we could just get some more regular maintenance of our beach parks, that'd be fantastic. So that's the first part, and then secondly, another thing for DPR, the bathroom here at Hahaione Elementary, the Hawaii Kai Recreation Center, the men's restroom is absolutely trashed as well. It's graffiti all over the wall. It's disgusting and needs a power washing of the ground. The sink doesn't work at all. So if DPR could come and remedy this and just give it a fresh coat of paint, get the sink working again, power wash the floor, that would go a long way to just improving the cleanliness of the park as a whole. So thank you. I appreciate the work that you do.
Lisa?
Got it.
Hi, Amy. Thank you for your report this evening. And my apologies, I didn't quite hear what you said about MOCA and the statues at Hanama. Did you say that you did not have an update yet on that?
Right. They don't have an update. I think
Okay.
Jennifer Santos, the director, was planning to reach out to you to schedule a meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. I just didn't quite hear that. Thank you.
Sorry.
Amy, I know that you don't have any updates on Cocoa Crater Stables. Do you happen to know if any meetings have been scheduled or held between the concessionaire and the city?
Yeah, the update is literally, no update at this time. So I will ask, you just want to know if meetings have been or will be held with the concessionaire.
Yes, would like to know whether there's any progress being made, getting the parties together to resolve whatever issues are remaining there.
Got it.
Any other questions for the mayor? Senate comments? All right, thank you very much, Amy.
Thank you.
We appreciate that you joined us tonight. Next on our agenda is the City Council Chair Tommy Waters' report. Welcome, Tommy.
Hello, Chair Mayor, and good evening, everyone. Congratulations on your re-election. I have a bunch of things to report, starting with a meeting that I had with HECO. I was walking door to door in Hawaiʻi Valley, as well as going to the Port Lock Community Association annual meeting, and they were complaining about their power going out. Apparently in Hawaiʻi Valley, it happens all the time. And then there's flickering that's going on in Port Lock. So I had a meeting with HECO. Interestingly, they said, they underground the lines, that they didn't put it encapsulated in some protective tubing. It's just the lines. So I guess the coating on the lines are deteriorating. When it rains, it shorts out the circuit, which is just mind-boggling to me that they didn't think about that when they put the lines in. So the next question is, when are they going to fix that? And it's on their radar, and I'll keep pushing them to get that done. But that explains it. It really does. It makes sense, because we were wondering, why couldn't they bring in another line from town, right? Because it comes over the ridge. But that wouldn't fix it. They just put in a new transformer right down the street here, and I thought, okay, that's going to work, but that's not the problem. It's the lines that are underground that don't have encapsulation. There's three bills that I talked about last month. I want to bring it up again. Bill 45, Bill 46, and Bill 47. It's cost of living issues. Bill 45 and 46 will raise your homeowner's exemption. So if you agree with that, please testify in favor of those. And Bill 47 will lower the cost to register your vehicle. We pay 3 times as much as the neighbor islands do. It would be a lost revenue to the city if we do that. But, during this last budget session, as I mentioned, I went through the budget with a fine-tooth comb and identified over $200 million that goes unspent every year. So we got $200 million that goes unspent. Let's put some of that back in your pocket. There was a complaint about speeding in Port Lock. We called the HPD to get them to put out a message board asking people to slow down. Apparently people are drinking at China walls and whatnot. I tried to get HPD to come out and do a DUI checkpoint out there. They declined to do so, but maybe this board could ask the HPD when they come in next time to say, hey, if you folks in fact agree with that, ask them to do it. Next thing I want to talk about the Clean Water Natural Land Fund. So great presentation by Van, by the way. This is a really great program. We dedicate about $8 million a year. And what it is it takes 1% of your property taxes and puts it aside in that account. And it is up to a lot of money. But what Jamie talked about earlier is the same concept. It's not adding a tax. It's just taking a percentage of the tax that you already pay and going towards food security. A couple years ago, also, so there's one more fund just like that for affordable housing. We take 8%, the 8 million a year, which is 0.5%, that goes towards building affordable housing. We tried to increase that to 1%, but rejected it on the ballot because they thought it was a new tax. So I just want to make clear that it's not a new tax. It's just taking money that you already are paying and setting it aside for a specific purpose. And Sam, you asked about any projects in the neighborhood. And yeah, Kekiulani Circle, as you're coming towards Hawaiʻi Kai on the left-hand side above Aina Haina, the owner of Pictures Plus was getting in there, digging into the mountain, and he built that big rock wall. So thank you to the Clean Water Natural Lands, they approved it. And then it came to the city council asking for $7 million. So we approved it. And now it's going to go through the due diligence. One of the things I actually introduced the bill to ask the Department of Housing and Land Management to speed it up, right? 2 years to do due diligence. To me, it's kind of a long time. I mean, we want to make sure they do it right, but so I don't have the bill number for you folks, but it is on my mind. As Amy mentioned, the speed limit, the city council changed it from 20 to 25 to 20 in school zones. And I actually pushed for 15 because like at Holy Nativity School, these little kids cross from their school to the gym. It's so dangerous there. I do sign waving there with the community policing team. And every year, and the principal comes out and talks about how it's really a dangerous thing. At least we got it down to the 20. And the City Council's Planning and Zoning Committee passed Resolution 26-159 and 26-160, which is urging the State Board of Land and Natural Resources to direct the Department of Land and Natural Resources Division of Aquatic Resources to adopt rules prohibiting the harvest of aquatic life in the state of Hawaii marine waters for commercial aquarium purposes. And your very own Lisa Bishop came and testified in favor of these. But basically, the scary part is that the Department of Land and Natural Resources is considering rules that would allow for harvesting, fish from our ocean for aquariums. And right now, it's not. And I'm sure Wayne, is that what you're here for tonight? Yeah, Wayne can talk a little bit more about it, and so can Lisa. But it's kind of a scary thought. The people who came and testified against these resolutions, by the way, it passed unanimous. But the people who testified against these resolutions said that it's sustainable. I don't see how they come to that conclusion by pulling out all these fish is sustainable. Because what we're seeing now is you don't see reef fish anymore. Hanauma Bay, of course, even Hanauma Bay, the fishery is going down, right? In Waikiki, I'll never see fish out there when I go surfing. You also on your agenda, you're talking about renaming the Vavamalo Beach Park to a nature park. Highly suggest that. But Reese Liggett is going to do that presentation to you folks. And really, it's up to you. You folks tell me what you want, and I'll go advocate for it. But I will tell you, there's an archery range that was going to be built in off 16th Avenue in Kaimuki. And that's Maumai Nature Park. I think the fact that it was a nature park helped stop the development of a big cement building in the middle of a nature park. So it might be a good idea to support Reese in that effort. But again, up to you guys when you want to name it. I'm happy to support. And then lastly, yesterday was a big day for me. The court said I'm ineligible to run for reelection. And while my eligibility is still in question, I'm meeting with attorneys tomorrow to see whether or not I should appeal it and the likelihood of winning the appeal. But to me, the bigger question is, since 10,000 people have already voted in our district, presumably some of them voted for me, what happens to those ballots? Those who voted for me, does that invalidate their vote? Right? There's a word disenfranchised. Yeah. I mean, the people who say I am ineligible, but those of you who voted for me could have voted for him or could have voted for somebody else. To me, it's really, really a problem because the court made this decision well after the ballots had already been mailed, when they should have done it way before. Right? So what happens next is the bigger issue. What do they do with all those ballots? And at this point, my understanding is they don't know. If I'm thinking ahead, they're going to have to throw this primary election out the window. Do-over. That's the fairest thing to do for those of you who voted and now your vote's not counted. But anyway, that's yet to come, but available for questions.
Thank you very much, Councilman, for being here and providing all of that information. Are there questions for the council chair? Lisa?
Yes, thank you for introducing and for getting those two resolutions passed. But I had a question about the lowering the registration, vehicle registration. There was some discussion about the city systems not being able to manage a change in the registration because they were so old. Did you see or hear anything about that? I mean,
Yeah.
that's just ridiculous. I mean, it can handle an increase in the fee of vehicle registration, but it cannot handle a lowering the registration, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You're making an excellent point. Apparently the whole system needs to be upgraded and they want to use some of the money that you all pay to register your car to upgrade the system in the DAT department. I think that's what they're saying. And if we pass this bill, they're not going to have the money to go ahead and upgrade the system. But I agree with you. I'm not sure that's a difficult thing to do at this point, because how it works is you pay per pound, right? And it's 7 cents per pound. And my bill seeks to lower it to 5.5 cents per pound. Yeah, doesn't seem hard. Stick out one calculator. I mean, I'm making light of it, but you make a very good point. That
That's
doesn't
what
seem-
the IT department had said, that they couldn't,
Yeah.
the system could not lower the vehicle registration, but they could raise it. So, okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
that doesn't make sense. I agree with you.
Sam?
Thank you for being here and best of luck with your reelection campaign.
Thank you.
As it relates to HECO, we had another major power outage in Hawaii Kai last Friday. It was maybe an hour and a half where we are at the Mauna Luan. Went to Costco later that afternoon and there was nothing in the refrigerated section. So guaranteed they had to throw away everything that they had there. And I'm just wondering who is putting pressure on HECO to resolve this? Because I know that there's some there's a process that business owners can go through for lost revenue, et cetera. But what is it the state's responsibility? Do we have a responsibility as a city to ensure that there's a reliable electric grid for our food security, to make sure that this waste isn't occurring, and to make sure that businesses are being protected? Because I'm sure lots of other businesses within Hawaii Kai are impacted by that as well. And it's an additional burden on top of them to go through this reimbursement process. So is there something that the city can do more of to increase the quality of our electric service and grid?
Well, I think it's all of our collective responsibility to put pressure on HECO. The city doesn't directly have control over the grid, right? That's HECO. But I'm putting pressure on them, obviously, by having this meeting and pushing them to correct this. But maybe the board needs to take a position, and perhaps I can even invite ECO to come out to present to you to see if they have a plan for changing the lines here. The Public Utilities Commission with our state partners can possibly put some pressure on them as well. Yeah.
There was no wind, there was no rain last Friday. It was beautiful. And for that amount of time for the power to be out, it's hard to justify.
Yeah, it's crazy. People are telling me that when it rains, they'll go and charge their phone because they know their phone's not going to be able to charge, or they can't open the refrigerator because of the thing in there will spoil. So they'll have a cooler, put everything in a cooler so that they can access their food. That's crazy. I mean, we're living a modern day.
Elizabeth, you
Thank
have a
you.
comment?
Yeah, thank you. Councilman, I don't know who I could work with at your office, but I'm very saddened that the Dave Matthews bench, if you remember who he is from Save Sandy Beach, that was paid for by the community and gifted to the city, back when Councilman Charles DeJoux was in office, is no longer there. And there was an inquiry about this a couple of years ago, and we were told that DPR changed how they do this. But my thoughts are, and I'm bringing it, hopefully that we can continue this through the board, is this was a gift given by the community to the city, went through city council, and the bench was put there and dedicated. And if DPR has changed how they accept such gifts, wouldn't the community by right be able to have that bench there that was back from, 15 years ago? If the city changes their way of accepting such gifts, it doesn't make sense to say that anybody prior to no longer has that. You follow where I'm going with this? And we need a little help with working with DPR and getting that gift that we went through a city council process back installed. And so for those who don't know, Dave Matthews was one of the foremost people who did the Save Sandy Beach movement for decades.
Way to work on that with you. I
You want me
wasn't
to-
aware that they
yeah.
changed the process because it's
Yeah,
been the same since I've been there. The city council approves any gifts over a certain amount of money, which arguably this bench was. So
Yeah.
I'll help you with that, Elizabeth.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure.
We have a resident online, Elena Bryant. You have your hand up. Go ahead.
Aloha. I just wanted to quickly mahalo Chair Waters for co-introducing the resolutions calling for a ban on commercial aquarium collection. If and optimistically when that resolution passes full council, the Honolulu City Council will have honored years of community advocacy on this issue and really affirm our shared responsibility to steward Hawaii's public trust resources and help ensure that our reef fish remain where they provide the greatest value, which is on our reef. So I just wanted to take a quick minute to mahalo you for all of your work on that.
Oh, thank you. Happy to do that. Happy to fight for it. I believe in it. And, Lisa Bishop was very, very persuasive.
All right. If there are no other questions, I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank
It's
you.
always good to have you.
Hey, aloha.
Governor Josh Green's Representative Cameron Black is unable to join us tonight. He had another commitment, but he'll be back next month. Senator Stanley Chang's office, I believe we have someone online.
Hi, can you hear me all right?
Yes, you can turn down the volume a little bit. Oh, got it.
sorry.
Okay. No, it's not your fault. We can do it here. Go ahead.
My name is Ella Matsui, and I'm here on behalf of Senator Chang's office. Senator Chang would like to bring to light some bills that were signed into acts by Governor Green recently, including SB 2866, which is Act 250 that establishes permanent kupuna rent assistance, as well as HB 1721, Act 177, establishing expedited housing permits. Most importantly, Senator Chang would like to remind all of the constituents that he is hosting his second annual There Ought to Be a Law opportunity. Senator Stanley Chang invites all of his Hawaii residents and his constituents to help shape the future of state policy through his second annual There Ought to Be a Law opportunity. Community members have this opportunity to propose an idea that Senator Chang will introduce during the 2027 legislative session. This contest gives residents a chance to directly address issues facing our state, and Senator Chang encourages residents of all backgrounds to submit their bill ideas, whether their proposals focus on local improvement projects, statewide policy reforms, or an update to existing law. Every submission will be reviewed, and we just want to make sure we get all of our bill ideas in by September 1st so that our office has chance to review everything and we can work with our community leaders about how we can make these bills a reality. And I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Are there any questions for Senator Chang's office? No questions. Thank you so much for staying with us so late. Senator Chris Lee. Do we have a representative online? I don't see one. All right, Representative Gideon's office.
Aloha, everybody.
Go ahead.
My name is Leo with Representative Gideon's office. Really quickly here, the Department of Transportation update. I think this was also brought up earlier. There's the resurfacing from the Sea Life Park area to the golf course. It's almost completed. When we met with DOT a few months ago, they did say that they were going to issue updates. We've noticed that those updates and at least just information on road closures has not happened. And contingent on that, the completion of that project, they said they would start on, I guess, on, more towards Hawaii town from that golf course area. So that is forthcoming. They said, again, dependent on how soon they finish the work that they're doing, again, over there between Sandy Beach and the golf course, that they would let us know. So again, I think it's just fair to say towards the end of this year, we can expect more lane closures and work to be done in that area. Let's see, regarding speeding, this has come up quite a bit to Representative Gideon's office. And so cars, e-bikes speeding through neighborhoods. I think as a result, someone called recently indicating that a vehicle in front of their house on their street was damaged and speed was a factor. And so, again, working as a collective with city and county to bring these concerns to mind and to issue, working with the governor's office and the mayor's office, like we heard earlier, a reduction in speed in certain areas, school zones. So yeah, I think more of that is definitely going to help. Let's see, we are in the process of putting up some signage in Hawaii as part of the Drive Aloha campaign that Representative Gideon is again working on. We are looking for some corner houses or businesses to put up signage to encourage drivers to essentially drive with more caution and care for the community that they're in. Let's see, we recently learned, well, again, the upcoming talk story, not the one this Thursday, but next month is going to be DOT and DTS. So we definitely invite all community members to come to the next talk story. Again, we come to this one too, the one on Thursday. I'll talk more about that later, but the one that I'm referring to is August. That's the last Thursday in August at the Oahu Club. It can be really, really important as we discuss topics from DOT, Director Ed Sniffin's office, and DTS. So let's see. And then this Thursday is on hurricane preparedness. So again, Oahu Club, 6 p.m. for those discussions. Let's see, Kamehameha Schools, there is, I'm sure you folks might be aware of this, there's a cesspool conversion project in the Kamila Nui area beginning August 3rd. And Kamehameha Schools has said that they're going to be covering all the costs. Let's see, what they're going to do is connect to a private sewer system. And phase 1 of this project is road excavation, trenching, installation of gravity sewer lines relating to infrastructure, installation of lateral connections to individual properties, and utility relocation and protection as needed. So again, if there are some questions that we can direct to Kamehameha Schools, Representative Gideon's office is happy to facilitate those questions and discussions, and you can always email them directly. Let's see. Yes, the HECO issue, like Chair Waters was saying, as well as Sam, your question about again the flickering and how the weather seemed fine in Hawaii Kai, and this was an issue. So let's see. The power plant is in Kaneohe, right? It's over by like on the backside of Ho'omaluhia. So again, the lines running through the ko'olaus, big issue. However, there is some work being done right now on I think it's like Kinaole Road, just near that First Pres Church and Ko'olau Ballrooms, again on the backside of Ho'omaluhia Botanical Gardens. Anyway, there's some work being done there right now where they're doing an excavation because of some water issues. I know they're working on the sewer lines over there as well. And so we're trying to work with both agencies to see if they can take this as an opportunity to address some of the lines that are underground because there's already an excavation underway. So this is something that, again, per your question, who puts pressure on them, so to speak? Like Mr. Waters said, all of us do, and it's having these discussions with the different agencies, trying to bring them to the table, is what's going to make that happen. So again, more pressure from all of us collectively. Let's see. Other issues regarding repainting of crosswalks have come up to the office quite a bit. And so we're working with, again, DTS and facilities maintenance to update some of those crosswalks. There's been a few calls about the drainage canals. If you do want to connect with Representative Gideon, please call the office. We are happy to help. Let's see. He was just out there not too long ago. I think it was Sunday or Monday. He was out there looking at some of the overgrowth. So again, we're working with the different agencies that we need to get them out there to maintenance and provide the maintenance there. So let's see. And the last thing I'll say is that Representative Gideon wants to hear from all of us, all of you folks, especially regarding bill ideas and resolutions. So my experience, during session has been that the sooner we get started on our legislative priorities, the better. We can get them over to our research department and they can start working on that. And the goal is to include this specific group, including, of course, the Kaiser Complex and the student that shared earlier. So anyway, again, my name is Leo from Representative Gideon's office. I am available and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Leo. Questions, starting with Sam.
Thank you, Leo, so much for the thorough report and your continued presence at the meetings. I have a question as it relates to the cesspool conversion in Kamilanui Valley. So I get a monthly water quality report from Surfrider. They test the Enterococcus bacteria levels at Kuli'o'o Stream. And which is the bacteria in fecal matter. So basically, they're trying to see if the water is safe to swim in. It's the only location that they do it in this part of the island in Hawaii Kai, Kuli'o'o. But it always consistently comes back extremely high. Do not swim in this water because of it. And I'm curious if there's any knowledge, maybe Representative Hashem has knowledge as to why this continuously occurs. Maybe it's cesspools that are currently exist in Kamilanui Valley or Kuli'o'o, but I'm hopeful that maybe the conversion to the sewer system in Kamilanui would reduce the Enterococcus levels. But wondering if you have any insight into that.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I mean, as far as the conversion goes, it looks like Kamehameha Schools has been working on this for quite a few years, since like 2018, they said. And so, they're testing things like the water table, they're testing things like the water that you're talking about. And so that seems like that's where the initial might come from. Again, the hope would be that it impacts it in of course, a positive way. But if it's okay with you, I'd like to share our contact with you over at KS and just follow up on this
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions, Leo? Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Chair Mayor.
Next in our.
Wait, I do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Elizabeth, did you have a question? Sorry.
Yes, I do. Well, first I want to just mention that Camilla Nui, because I have a lease back in Camilla Nui Valley, I want to confirm that um, the drainage, stormwater drain and all from that valley goes into the Hawaiʻi Marina. And the Hawaiʻi Marina does every month spot water quality testing. And they do have all that data available. And Sam, they may be interested in sharing it if you ask. They have, stacks and stacks of that data from that water quality testing that they do. That's one. The other I wanted to offer and just plant a seed for Representative Gideon for a bill. And this is something that I think everybody is going to say, yes, let's do it. We really need to start getting our cellular companies to have their own way of operating with generator or their own battery system and not rely on the grid. Because most people have, everybody I think has cell phones. And when the grid goes down and we don't have internet and all this stuff, they have no way of connecting with anybody. So this is a real serious issue. And we had learned at one of the talk stories that Representative Gideon held with HECO that the cellular companies do tap into the grid and that they don't all have their own way of providing. So it's just something that I wanted to offer up for you guys to look into. I think it's very important and it's part of resiliency. Thank you.
Right. Yes. Thank you for that. It could also be, and again, this is something to explore. So definitely thank you for that. It could be that we ask them to look into other plants that they can tap into. If that region, that area, that district precinct is open to that, to supporting Hawaii Kai in that way, so that they're not so dependent. Again, I think that's a wonderful suggestion, and Representative Gideon's office is happy to look into that.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
All right. Thank you. We're going to be moving on. And next speaker is Representative Mark Hashem. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. You got my newsletter. I just wanted to start off by, I think we had this discussion before with Moanalua Bay. There's $1 million in the budget to do what I call phase 2 of the dredging for the bay, which the $1 million is for plan and design. So DLNR is looking to do to improve the bulkhead so the boats can come and dock there and load and unload rather than having to load launchway, because that takes up an extra launch. So the commercial boats that come in and out, a lot of times when they take out, when the customers get off and on, they have to, right now, currently, they have to go into the launchway. So they're looking, one proposal is to have the boats be able to come right up to the bulkhead. And we're also looking to repave the whole parking lot because it hasn't been paved for a while. Regarding Kuleo, I have no idea. To be honest, I have no idea. One thing I do know is that that water is very dirty and it's stagnant. My office does have any request from the city because somebody did call in and asked for that to be cleaned. So we did put a request to the city for that. We didn't get a response back from the city. Sam also had a question regarding invasive species. So in the middle, if you open up the news, the right side bottom, the bottom right, there's a little ant. So there's fire ants have been detected in Aina. So I teamed up with the library. So the library has little fire ants packets. The state has $1.5 million in the state budget to help eradicate little fire ants. So if you think you have ants, if you find these little red ants, go to the library, pick up a packet, follow the instructions. If if the Department of Agriculture does determine that you do have fire ants, they will send somebody out to spray for free. So, and that's as long as there's remaining funding for that. And that's about it. Oh, and there's a typo in here on the very far left of the bill note, it says requires, pennies are no longer, are being done away with. And I have a typo, it says requires merchants to accept cash. That's not correct. The bill doesn't require, merchants to accept cash, but I'm open for questions.
Questions?
Thank you for your presence at the meeting. It's
Sure.
good to see you. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the Aina Library, the budget for their landscaping and lighting is $1 million. And we have $1.5 million for the state for LFA.
So, no, so that's for, yeah, that's for landscaping and it's written that way. It's mainly for the grounds around. There's lighting and it's basically upgrades for the library. So it's not just landscaping, but.
Well, I'm just trying to allude to the insignificant amount of money being appropriated to this significant problem of LFA. Because on Big Island, I mean, it's extremely detrimental to kids playing at the beach, animals in the parks. It causes blindness in them. It's torture to be on a beach park or anywhere with these ants. And they're going to continue to spread. I mean, what they should be doing is mailing one of these test kits to every single homeowner in Aina. Or proactively going door to door to eradicate this. I mean, $1 million. What I'm trying to show is that for lighting and plants is what it's at one library. Who's allocating this funding, and what can we do as a community to urge this? Because it seems to just be another thing like the Koki frogs or CRB that just gets completely overlooked until it's too late.
So Little 1.5 million was allocated just for little fire ants. I don't recall what is the annual budget. Off the top of my head, I don't know what the annual budget is for HISC. So we have the invasive species council, which I think they get probably 10 plus million. Because I know at one time we were doing 5 million just for Myconia. So there is a larger budget that HISC comes in and they determine which is most vital for invasive species to tackle. This one was earmarked specifically for little fire ants. So on top of the other funding that we get. So that helps answer your question. Okay.
We just need more money for these problems, unless people don't really think it's that big of an issue.
Well, it is.
Okay.
But I mean, you're also fighting with textbooks, right? School lunches. It's a bigger, I mean, everything else is within that budget too. So yeah, it's a matter of priorities. We never have enough money.
Other questions for Representative Hashem?
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you so much. I was just checking online to see if there were any hands up. Appreciate your being here. I don't believe we have any congressional representatives here with us tonight. So we're going to be moving on to board business. And first is updates on Kaiwi Coast Scenic Byway. And I believe that we do have a meeting scheduled a little later this month, or excuse me, early in August, that will be discussing some issues about Vavamalu Beach. Elizabeth, do you want to speak on this at this time or wait until the board business?
So that meeting, I mean, what would you like me to do? I think the agenda is with the NCO office and they're going to be sending it out. There are 3 items that are being discussed: the designation, about moving it into preservation. How do you properly spell Vavamalu? Is it AW or WA? And discuss a little bit about signage, some additional signage to educate people. So those are the 3 things we're going to be talking about. And it's actually a joint committee meeting of parks, which would include Herb and myself, planning, zoning, and environment. It's at the Waikiki Library. But I
And this
don't
is
know
the
when
one-
the agenda is going to go out. I'm not quite sure.
I know that it'll go out at least 7 days prior to the meeting. And the meeting is scheduled for August 11. And
At the Hawaii Library.
at Hawaii Library. Okay. Updates on Kamilonui Valley agriculture. Besides what Leo shared from Representative Gideon's office, I did receive an email from Roz Makuula from Kamehameha Schools. And board members, I'm not sure if I sent this to you, but I will send it again because I can't remember if I've already sent it to you. But she provided information on the conversion of the cesspools in Kamilonui Valley to sewer connection. And they did indicate that construction for the project is scheduled to begin the week of August the 3rd, and it include road excavation and trenching, installation of gravity sewer lines, installation of lateral connections to individual properties, and utility relocation and protection as needed. And Kamehameha Schools is funding the project. There will be additional phases of the project after this first phase, and that will include home line sewer connections and road restoration and repaving. So they will try to minimize some of the problems around the construction activities and trying to limit the construction to localized section of the roadway rather than occurring along the entire road at any one time. So they will try to manage with best management practices. Okay, I will send that email to you. Any other updates on the Kamilonui Valley? We've heard that there are no updates at this time on Cocoa Crater Stables. We do hope that the concessionaire has made contact with the city to try to resolve the issues there. And the next item is consider sending a letter of support for City Council Resolutions S26-159 and Resolution 26-160, prohibiting the harvest of aquatic life from state of Hawaii marine waters for commercial aquarium purposes. And I'm going to ask Lisa to introduce this particular topic for the board to consider.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much for allowing us to discuss this topic this evening. As Chair Waters mentioned during his report, on the 16th of July, the Honolulu City Council passed two resolutions, Resolution 26-159 and Resolution 26-160. And I passed out copies of both of those resolutions to all of the board members. Resolution 26-159 urges the State Board of Land and Natural Resources to direct the Department of Land and Natural Resources, Division of Aquatic Resources, to adopt rules prohibiting the harvest of aquatic life from state of Hawaii marine waters for commercial aquarium purposes. Resolution 26-160 urges the Hawaii State Legislature to enact legislation that prohibits the harvest of aquatic life from the state of Hawaii marine waters for commercial aquarium purposes. Now, these resolutions are vital to the long-term protection and conservation of our coral reef ecosystems and the wildlife they support, especially now when our reefs are being exposed to such an accumulation of concurrent existential threats, like the rising ocean temperatures and acidification, repeated coral bleaching events, and polluted nearshore marine environments. In April 2026, the Hawaii First Circuit Environmental Court ruled that the BLNR and DLNR have the authority to enact a complete statewide ban on commercial aquarium collection. The state legislature has always had the authority to pass legislation to enact a statewide ban on commercial aquarium collection, and almost did so this year with House Bill 2101, which had over 800 pieces of written testimony in one hearing alone, about 90% supporting a statewide ban on this cruel, needless, unsustainable, and extractive pet trade. A 2025 study found that 84% of Oahu residents support a statewide ban on aquarium collection. In January 2026, the Council of Hawaii County adopted Resolution 42225, urging the state legislature to prohibit the harvest of aquatic life from state marine waters for commercial aquarium purposes. In March of 2026, the Maui County Council adopted Resolution 26-53, urging the state legislature to prohibit the harvest of aquatic life from state marine waters for commercial aquarium purposes, the same language. This month, in July of 2026, the Kauai County Council did Resolution 26-21, urging DLNR and/or the state legislature to prohibit the harvest of aquatic life from state marine waters for commercial aquarium purposes. By sending a letter of support for Resolutions 26-150, 26-160, the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board has the opportunity to support the Honolulu City Council in joining the other county councils in urging both the Board of Land and Natural Resources and/or the legislature to finally ban this needless and extractive aquarium collection in Hawaii once and for all. I hope this board will continue its longstanding track record of meaningful environmental advocacy by supporting these two Honolulu City Council resolutions. Now, I also represent Friends of Hanauma Bay, and we have been involved in trying to ban this aquarium collection in Hawaii for about 15 years. But we have with us Wayne Tanaka, who's the head of Sierra Club of Hawaii, and Elena Bryant, who represents Earth Justice. She's online, who have been in this fight for much longer than that. And they're here at my request so that they can answer your in-depth questions about this issue so that you can have a more informed decision-making process. Thank you.
Thanks for that overview, Lisa. Let me just ask, these resolutions have passed from the committee, not for the full council?
Yes, the committee, they're going to full council in August, on the August 16th, August 16th. And that's the last time they'll be before the full council, August 16th. So we have an opportunity to weigh in before they go before the full Honolulu City Council.
Okay, that's just what I wanted to clarify, that it
Yes.
passed committee. Okay, thank you. Questions on this issue for Lisa or for our guest this evening? What was your name again, please?
Wayne Tanaka.
Wayne Tanaka. Okay. Yes, Greg?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. First, what does it mean about commercial harvesting? Does that mean individual, just people without collecting to sell them would still be allowed to harvest
Yeah, so the target of these resolutions is collecting reef fish and native reef fish and certain invertebrates for profit, right? So if you're gonna go scoop fish to throw in your home aquarium recreationally or for your own education, then that's fine. What the resolutions target is the profit motive, which is what drove a lot of the collecting that did kind of a huge amount of damage to our reefs here on Oahu, up until the practice was essentially banned legally in 2017 and in 2021.
And I had a question that I should have started with in terms of just the procedure. Is this a motion? Are we considering it as on the table? I mean, are we?
Yes, I was asked to place it on the duration, so we can take action to,
What Lisa said, the timing is like now.
that is
or
correct.
to
So
happen.
if the board would like to take action, then we would take action tonight to approve sending a letter of support.
Yeah, and I would suggest, because the discussion should follow once something is formally moved, so I would suggest Lisa introduce that.
All right, Lisa?
I
And Greg
introduce a
is
motion.
asking, yeah, that
A
you
motion
introduce
that
the
this
motion.
board consider sending a letter of support to the Honolulu City Council, letter of support of these two resolutions. Is that adequate
Yeah,
language?
that would do it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Herb. All right, any other discussion or comments or questions?
I'm wondering, you said it was banned at one point, but then why is it continuing? Is it a matter of enforcement or what is, and is there any intermediate level of, trying to respect sustainability without a total commercial ban? Because others' livelihoods depend on that. So I think it's just worth consideration at least.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So right now there is no legal collecting. There hasn't been for the better part of a decade. So there's no jobs that are being jeopardized right now, right? But what's happening is Council Chair Waters spoke to is that the Board of Land and Natural Resources is considering the adoption of rules that would reopen the waters of West Hawaii Island to the aquarium collection industry, and then most likely Oahu would be the next area where they would reopen that. And beyond the hundreds of thousands of fish that would once again be taken off of our reefs that are already in like really bad shape, which I can speak to personally, it will also create all kinds of enforcement confounds. Just the amount of resources it will take the department to just administer these rules and monitor and enforce compliance would be a huge drain on the resources. And again, so beyond just the enforcement issues, there's also the capacity and management issues, right? They should be dedicating their time and energy to dealing with the real problems that we are kind of catering to a very small special interest group that wants to restart an industry that's already been proven to be very harmful to our reefs.
Yes, Paula?
About during the early 2000s, I worked at Oceanic Institute where they were raising, I wish I could tell you the name, the yellow tangs, the tangs. And I'm just wondering, does commercial raising of these fish still continue? And is there something that delineates them from bandits?
Oh yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be collecting these aquaculture loipala, so there's no ban on, you wouldn't be subject to the ban because you're not collecting those fish. And they are actually making some remarkable progress in captive breeding of these species, and that's a whole nother economic development opportunity. And I think Elena who are online can also provide more updates on where that science and research is.
Yeah, I'm happy to add to that, Chair Mayor.
Is that Inga?
This is Elena Bryant.
Oh, Elena, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, as Lisa mentioned, I'm an attorney at Earth Justice and part of the legal team that represents a coalition of community groups in a variety of advocacy efforts on this issue. So happy to help Wayne answer and field questions. With respect to the aquaculture, right now there's a facility in Waimanalo called Biota that's actively aquaculturing and successfully aquaculturing the yellow tang. And so we do have an alternate to collecting and removing wild reef life from our reefs. And I also just wanted to elaborate on Wayne's response to the earlier question about, yeah, this trade has been closed for the better part of a decade. And what is currently on the table is that 7 collectors from West Hawaii are asking to resume this practice. Following thereafter, 10 collectors on Oahu are asking to resume this practice. So this is not a large industry. This is just a very small handful of folks that are looking to reopen this defunct fishery.
All right, we have another hand up. Inga Gibson, go ahead.
Aloha, Chair Inga Gibson with Pono Advocacy and For the Fishes. Thank you so much for considering this important resolution. I, like Lisa and my colleagues there, have been working on this for about 15 years, and I know Elizabeth knows as well. There was an environmental impact statement that was submitted by the trade back in 2021, and it was unanimously rejected by the Board of Land and Natural Resources. So the trade has been closed, as noted, for many years. So there is no loss of jobs. This would not impact, just to clarify, the continued non-commercial capture of fish for public aquariums like Waikiki Aquarium, aquaculture research, captive breeding, public display, recreational, non-commercial take of locals. Less than 2% of Hawaii residents and pools even own a saltwater aquarium. So I think that's something to consider, although they would not be impacted for local collection. This is entirely focused on commercial activities because, you know, all these fish leave. They do not stay here in Hawaii where they are really needed. I also wanted to mention Dr. Gail Grabowski. She testified before the council. She is a professor at Chaminade University and the dean of the Environmental Sciences Department. She and some colleagues actually conducted some research a few years ago comparing Hanauma Bay, which is, you know, only less than 1% of Oahu's coastline is protected. But Hanauma Bay, of course, established in 1967, is that baseline protected area. So in Dr. Grabowski's research with Dr. Thornhill, they looked at 17 sites where aquarium collection occurred across Oahu and compared the abundance of those reef species that were collected just for the aquarium trade to natural abundance in a protected area of Hanauma Bay, and found 93% less abundance, less numbers of fish in these areas, and specifically among the top 4 species collected for the aquarium trade. So the science absolutely says what has already been said, that this is not sustainable. This is not something that you know, we have seen any improvement in. Unfortunately, the trade likes to claim that there's going to be a natural doubling in populations, but we have not seen that on Oahu nor on the Big Island. And DLNR, DAR isn't even doing the research and conducting the data as it had in the past. So even less confidence in any data that's being put out by the department that unfortunately continues to support the trade. So I just wanted to be available to answer any questions and urge your support of this measure. And I know Elena can talk a lot more about the direct impacts to the local communities. And I apologize in advance. I'd hoped to be there in person, but couldn't make it. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Inga. We have another hand up earlier, Dick Johnson. Dick, did you want to make a comment? Okay. Any last questions, comments? So how does this board feel? Are you ready for the question? Okay. All right. Are there any objections, or is there any objection to supporting this measure? Sending a letter to the city council indicating our support for the passage of these two resolutions. Any objection? No objections. Then we will, I see that as a unanimous vote of approval. So I will work on a letter to the city council to our board's support.
Thank you, board. Oh, and by the way, the city council meeting is on the 12th of August. I want to correct that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, board. The fish and marine wildlife. Thank you.
Thank us also. Okay, great. All right. Any reports from the board committees? Elizabeth, would you like to let us know what happened to our meeting earlier this month?
Sure. So the Vavamalu Beach meeting was supposed to happen earlier this month, and though it was announced at the last neighborhood board meeting, the formal agenda was not submitted. And so we canceled, rescheduled. I made phone calls to whomever I knew was planning on attending, and then I went to the library myself and waited in case anybody showed up, which nobody did. So my apologies. I'll take the blame for that.
Not a problem. For those new members and those in the audience, we cannot hold a meeting unless we follow the sunshine law and advertise the fact at least a week prior. So our agenda needs to be posted and distributed at least 7 days prior to the meeting. So the meeting has been rescheduled. It will be on August 11th at the Hawaiʻi Kai Library Meeting Room. We urge members of the community to attend, and it will start, I believe, at 6 o'clock to approximately 7:30 p.m. All right, we're going to be moving on to the approval of the regular meeting minutes. Minutes of the meeting for Wednesday, June 30th were distributed. Are there any suggested revisions or amendments to the minutes? Seeing none, we're going to be accepting the minutes as approved as distributed. Any other board announcements? If not, I will be going into the closing announcements. The next regular meeting of the Hawaiʻi Kai Neighborhood Board is on Tuesday, August 25th at 7 p.m. here at the Hahaiʻioni Elementary School cafeteria and on WebEx. The Hawaiʻi Kai Neighborhood Board regular meetings are cablecast on Olelo Channel 49 on the second Monday of the following month at 9 o'clock p.m. and repeating on that month's third Friday at 7 o'clock a.m. Videos can also be seen online at the olelo.net website, at the honolulu.gov NCO/board website. I want to thank everyone for coming. Wayne, thank you for your comments. And board members, have a great rest of the summer, and we'll see you at the end of August. Meeting is adjourned.